mentioned, another thing associated with Atlantic City is gambling. And the two fighters that we're going to see in action here today are both taking a gamble. They both are already on the brink of world title shots, and they risk everything by taking on very tough opposition. Meldric Taylor is getting prepared in his dressing room a few feet here away from me. Was just a baby at age 17 when he won a gold medal at the Olympics in 1984. And now at age 20, unbeaten in 16 fights as a pro, he wants to prove that he's ready to challenge for a world title by taking on his toughest opponent to date, Irleis Perez. Bigger, stronger, more experienced at age 28, Perez is determined to teach Taylor a lesson. Two talented fighters who meet here in Atlantic City on the 11th day of July, the 7th month. And for one of them, 7-11 will be a very lucky number. Perez against Taylor today on ABC's Wide World of Sport.
Okay, Alan, we're only minutes away from the start of Olympic gold medalist Meldric Taylor's tough bout against the veteran from the West Coast, Perez. Now, Taylor was only 9 years old when Perez turned professional. Taylor's only 20. Perez is 28. He's had twice as many fights. He has scored 25 knockouts. So for Taylor, it's his sternest test. And for Perez, he can't afford to lose. And here at Harrah's in Atlantic City, they packed them in for the scheduled 10-round junior welterweight bout. Undefeated Meldric Taylor against Perez. Coming in now, the Philadelphia kid, the young man, 20 years old, with a lot of charisma, led by his manager, Lou Duva, George Benton, his trainer, and already in the ring is the veteran of 36 professional fights. There he is, Perez from the West Coast. He has scored 25 knockouts. Only 3 rounds of boxing thus far this year, but he is bigger and he appears to be stronger, but that is yet to be seen. Here in Atlantic City, I'm Chris Schenkel, and I'm delighted to be back at ringside with my friend and ABC's boxing analyst. And Alex Walu's face always registers a smile when I talk about the meshing of styles for action.
Chris, the cliche says that styles make fights, and if the cliche holds true today, we should have a most interesting afternoon. Both men love to throw punches. They're very aggressive. They throw a lot of punches. They are not afraid to get hit, and they are not easily intimidated. In terms of Meldric Taylor's ability, he has tremendous hand speed. He can throw not just a lot of punches, but he can throw them very quickly. Today, however, I think he'll need more power and better stamina than he's shown thus far. He's very candid in saying he is not satisfied with those areas so far, and he says today he will demonstrate that he can punch with power and do it for 10 hard rounds. Irleis Perez has already demonstrated his staying power and toughness last year in his first shot at a title when he lost really a heartbreaking 15-round decision to then IBF lightweight champion Jimmy Paul. He has also had experience against hand speed at least equal to Meldric's in the only other loss of his career when he dropped another controversial decision to Hector Camacho in 1983. Meldric is young enough, I think, Chris, to come back from a loss, but at age 28, says this fight is do or die for him.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Now we go to the ring, and ring announcer Ed Daring for the introduction.
Main Events and Monitor Productions present this afternoon's scheduled 10-round junior welterweight bout. In the ring at this time, the man in charge of the scheduled 10-round junior welterweight bout, referee Teddy Pick. And now, my good friends, introducing the principals. First, in the red corner, wearing the red trunks with the white trim. He tipped in at an even 140 pounds. This gentleman is ranked number 10 by the World Boxing Council. A native of Cuba and now residing in Santa Ana, California. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome aboard Irleis Perez. And his opponent in the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with the gold trim. He weighed in at 139.5 pounds. This young man is undefeated in 16 professional bouts, including 1 draw with 8 knockouts. The 1984 Olympic gold medalist in the featherweight division. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, ladies and gentlemen, here is Meldric TNT Taylor.
Joe Cortez, the referee, gives them their final instructions as we look at the tail of the tape. There are very few similarities, one big disparity. is the fact that Perez is 8 years older than the Olympic champion Taylor. You see the height difference, naturally the reach difference. The rules, New Jersey Athletic Board of Control, very simple, 10-point must. The 3 judges do the scoring, a non-scoring referee, 3 knockdown rule in effect, standing 8 count. Here we go, round 1.
Chris, actually, there was a last-minute change. Teddy Pick is the referee instead of Joe Cortez, and you might notice on Teddy Pick that he is wearing gloves, and that is one of the most unusual aspects of today's fight, is the fact that it will be held under the new New Jersey State Athletic Control Board rule, which requires cornermen and the referee to wear gloves to prevent the possible infection by AIDS.
Okay, and at the moment, the fighters don't worry about that. They're worrying about getting a victory here today. This is strange that Teddy was chosen to referee, because moments ago I talked to Cortez, asked him if he was going to wear gloves. He said no. Maybe by his refusing to wear gloves, he was not. He was substituted for. Be interesting to find out.
Well, Teddy Pick did the prelim, the semifinal right before this. He didn't wear gloves for that. He is wearing them now.
Right. But they're 8-ounce gloves that both Taylor on the right and the much taller on the left, Perez, are wearing. Everlast gloves, 20-foot square ring here in Atlantic City.
There you saw it. Irleis Perez, try that right hand. Perez has a good jab, a good stiff jab, and his power punch is his straight right.
And he's trying to figure out Taylor right now. And Taylor is trying to start his attack with a jab, which usually Perez does effectively. There was a right hand lead for the body by Perez.
Neither man sweating very much. They both came in pretty dry.
Beautiful right hand lead, which made Perez smile.
And the left right behind it. That was the speed that Meldric possesses that makes him so special. You saw his defensive ability there, making Perez miss badly with 2 punches.
And Alex just beating him to the punch so effectively. Perez had no guard up at all. The punches were there so quickly.
Cubanito's record to date has been that he fires back. When he gets hit, he does not get intimidated. He fires punches back. So Meldric has to be sure that he does not leave his chin hanging out so that he gets countered by one of those Perez right hands.
Both are throwing really heavy punches here in the first round. Good job of the referee breaking them apart. Both junior welterweights well within range of landing punches. There was an unusual combination attempted by Perez, missing. And his jab is falling a little short, too. But not the right hand. A beautiful right hand.
Again, Meldric started the right hand, landed it, and finished with the left hand. Shows he's learning his lessons from his corner, Lou Duva and George Benton, very well. In the other corner, Irleis Perez has perhaps the best corner ever assembled. He's got Eddie Futch and Angelo Dundee working in his corner.
Angelo for the first time with Perez as manager. There he is. After getting instructions, rather short and sweet, as he had a very impressive first round, reddening the face of Perez, his taller opponent with his back to us now. 34 wins, 25 knockouts. But the heavy hitter in that first round was Meldric Taylor of Philadelphia. Taylor used to have a style of snapping away from punches, said he was going to try to slip punches and block them with his dukes.
He's also going to try to bend more, Chris. He's most effective when he's bending from the waist. It gets him his leverage, better leverage. It also helps him move his head better. So it's better for his defense as well as his offense.
Taylor thus far in this round staying to the head, and now there's a nosebleed rather heavily from Perez on the right in the red trunks. First time for Perez in Atlantic City, 4th for Meldric Taylor. Beautiful left hand.
And that's a bad nosebleed. That's going to hamper Cubanito's breathing ability.
And the air is heavy inside. It's so humid outside and hot. And
very quickly, Meldric Taylor's established the fact that he can punch with more power. Not only does he have the quick hands, but now he's got some sting in that punch. And Cubanito Perez's face is evidence of that.
And thus far, the 20-year-old is accepting this big step forward as he learns his trade toward a possible world championship.
Look at him pick with that jab. Meldric said, I know that Cubanito's got a great jab, Chris, but I have a good jab, too, and I think I can beat him to the jab. I think I can out-jab him.
And those sneaky right-hand leads are working. Another one, an uppercut, a left hook. Perez smiling, but rather a sickening smile at this point. Beat red face, a sharp shot to the body.
You see Meldric's experience already, Chris. He came in, he didn't try to headhunt. He went right down and dug the right hand to the body. A little bit low, but that's the way to open up punches to the head.
Loves to hook to the ribs. We thought Perez would do the pressuring, but it's Taylor. That jab was blocked by the right glove of Perez. And he has just beaten to the punch so often here. A beat red face, the color of his trunks is Perez on the left. We'll be back. Angelo Dundee had to go to work on the nosebleed, stopped it. There's an abrasion on the left cheek of Perez with his back to us, as he has repeatedly been hit with hard shots by the man that just landed one to the body. Meldric Taylor, whose trainer, Georgie Benton, says, jab, jab, move in. Make it quick, stiff.
Just see what Meldric did with that jab. He jabbed to the body, came up quick enough to the head, jabbed again to the body, and nothing came back from Cubanito Perez. He did not respond. Right now, Meldric has the veteran flustered.
Now the area under the left eye of Perez is starting to puff up, a mouse there, along with the abrasion. He's breathing heavily because of the nosebleed, which has returned. A fake bolo to the 28-year-old born in Cuba.
The thing that amazes me about Meldric, even in the Olympics at age 17, he always seemed to have a lot of poise. He comes up to the big fights of his career, and he almost always performs very, very well. He looks so calm, Chris.
It's a good ingredient to look toward a world championship, isn't it? He's got a lot of the attributes. Well, he isn't afraid to probe.
Look at him making little subtle shifts, moving, not setting, not letting Perez get a standing target. He's just making little moves all the time.
And breathing very heavily through his mouth now is Perez. But he's game. He's never been stopped. He's won 34 out of 36, losing to Hector Camacho and Jimmy Paul. And he's been around. But he has only 3 rounds of boxing here in 1987. Oh, a shot right just by the ear and the temple, landed by Taylor on the right.
There's Cubanito trying to shoot that jab and trying to score that right hand. You see him turn his head. Perez there when he jabbed. That's a bad habit. You can't lose sight of your opponent. You can't turn your head away when you throw that left.
And he's finding that Taylor is always there. And always punching.
Come on, work. There you go.
And there on the inside, it was Taylor who worked out of the clinch, who threw the punches and finished the combination.
Look at that hand speed. First a right hand lead to the head, and then followed it up with our same hand to the body. That is an unmarked and undefeated fighter from Philadelphia, Meldric Taylor, holding sway, holding forth in the first 3 rounds of the scheduled 10-rounder against the veteran Cubanito Perez, who is carrying the scars of battle already. Abrasion under the left chin, has had a nosebleed since round 1.
In Perez's corner in between rounds, he has all that talent in the great Eddie Futch and the great Angelo Dundee talking to him. I don't speak great Spanish, but I understood what Angelo said to him. He said 2 things, primero and atácalo, and that means be first and attack. Cubanito is just sitting there and taking punches. He just hasn't solved the style.
But again, beaten to the punch by Taylor.
He waves Taylor in, and Meldric is only too happy to oblige him. Meanwhile, there's nothing coming back from Cubanito.
Perez, who can attack or counterpunch, is not doing a lot of either. We're in round 4.
He's waiting for Meldric to make a mistake, and Meldric just hasn't made one yet. There you see Eddie Futch in the right and Angelo Dundee in the left. Of course, those two men were in opposite corners when Muhammad Ali fought Joe Frazier in the great Thrill in Manila in 1975. This is the first time they've ever worked together.
Developer of world champions. In and out. Overwhelming Perez.
Let me have it. Meldric, keep them punches up, okay?
Keep the punches up.
Warning from referee Pick to Meldric.
Perez really flat-footed.
This is the kind of fight, Chris, where I thought Cubanito Perez was going to ask a lot of questions, and we were going to see whether Meldric Taylor had the answers. Right from the opening bell, Meldric Taylor has done all the dominating, dictating the pace, and Cubanito doesn't have any answers. Just totally and thoroughly, completely outclassed.
Like, almost totally overwhelmed. 28-year-old Perez and youth, 20-year-old Meldric Taylor. Doesn't have a mark on him.
Step back, hands up.
See Cubanito still trying, right to the body, left hand upstairs. Neither one very effective. There, digging the right hand inside. It's Cubanito Perez. He's a tough, dead game kid. He will never stop trying, but right now he just doesn't have any answers.
His 37th pro bout, first in Atlantic City, having his problems. He'll get a rest in about 4 seconds. The 5th round now. Neither fighter has been knocked down. An abrasion on the left cheekbone of Perez. On the right of your television screen, he's had a nosebleed from midpoint of the 1st round. Keeps trying as he's being, well, outclassed by Meldric Taylor in his 17th pro bout.
In Taylor's corner in between rounds, George Benton told him, Meldric, we're going to change it up.
Right.
Go to him. Go to him behind the jab. But when you get in there, forget about your speed. Throw hard, meaningful punches. There's Lou Duva, who works along with George Benton and co-training Meldric Taylor.
November 15th, 84 at Madison Square Garden, when 5 Olympians started their professional career, and Taylor, one of them that won his first bout in the 1st round.
Whoa, that right hand to the body, Chris, and again.
Oh, a left hook. The variety of punches that Taylor is possessing.
Cubanito still trying, right uppercut, but Meldric finishes the exchange.
And he has the one punch that can get you in trouble, Perez. Always remember. Because while Taylor's throwing punches as fast as he does, he is open on the chin.
That's right.
Like there. Another one almost landed.
You're exactly right. Cubanito's only prayer right now is to load up that right hand, try to set it up with the left, but throw hard punches with his right to try to turn around this steamroller that's in front of him. The only other hope he's got is that Meldric runs out of gas, that the pace of this fight wears him down and he gives out.
He's gone 10 rounds 5 times, Taylor. All right, we'd like to alert our local stations along the line that at the end of this round, we'll be taking a station break as Perez tries to dig to the body to drop that left hand so he can get it right through. We're in the 5th round, scheduled for 10.
For the first time in the fight, I think Cubanito landed 2 meaningful punches there in that last exchange, Chris. The right hand and then the right hand again. He got Meldric's respect.
Pressing a little more forward now, Perez inching very slowly forward.
Again, the 3 jabs, the 3 punches with Meldric, not just to the head. He punched into the chest and then up to the head again.
Again, bleeding heavily from the nose, Perez on the right.
Face Murata.
And it is good that Taylor has learned to slip punches. because he had 2 whistling rights that nearly landed. We'll return with more of ABC's Wide World of Sports coverage of the 10-round junior welterweight fight between Meldric Taylor and Cubanito Perez after this from our local stations. Ted Pickjust, the referee, just told both fighters this is the 6th round. No knockdowns marked, and with a nosebleed has been Cubanito Perez from that very first round. He's been fighting back. He's been beaten to the punch. If you just joined us, he's in against a buzzsaw from Philadelphia, Meldric Taylor, in the black trunks and gold stripes.
First half of the fight, I thought Cubanito clearly lost the first 5 rounds. He showed in round 5 a little sign of life. And if he can combine that ability to pick up the pace here and hope that Meldric runs out of gas in these middle rounds like he's shown a tendency to, he may have a chance to get back in the fight. It doesn't look likely.
Not with body punches like that.
And not when he just stands there and takes punches. He has to come back. He has to let his hands go. Know he's going to get hit, but let his hands go nonetheless.
Perez, at this point, if you could interview him, I'm sure he'd say he's in against a special talent. A little change in style by Taylor. The same combinations, effective punches. But he's backing off a little bit, allowing Perez to come forward, circling a bit now, pacing himself a little better here in the 6th round. Still looking for the combination that will stop Perez, who looks weary, puffing heavily, nose bleeding.
Meldric gets that punch in there. Perez is just not reacting to the punches
I think
anymore,
he's dead tired at this point.
He's just sitting there and taking them. He's not making any attempt to slip him.
He keeps talking to him, and Taylor's corner said, don't pay attention to what he's saying.
Yeah, that was cute. Meldric came back and said, George, he's talking to me. And George Benton in his corner said, that's all right, Meldric, just ignore him and go out and do what you have to do.
Well, Taylor's talking with his fists.
Not quite as active around for Meldric. He might be pacing himself a little bit just to make sure that he doesn't run out of gas. Fighting enough to win the round, but not quite at the pace he did the first 5.
Just such beautiful, short, stinging punches. He's really been taught well, this young man. First by Willie Rush, and now Georgie Benton.
Come on out. Come on out. What the heck, man? Box.
Again, Angelo Dundee has stopped the bleeding on the face of Cubanito Perez on the left. One of the 3 ringside physicians came in to check to see if there was anything serious. An abrasion over the left cheek, heavy nosebleed throughout this bout as we are in round 7.
Chris, as if Cubanito didn't have enough problems, right in the closing seconds of round 6, there came a clash of heads. Watch right in the inset here. Watch Meldric on the right, throw the punch, land behind Cubanito's head, and then pull Cubanito in. And right there in the clash of heads, when Cubanito went back to his corner, he was bleeding from a cut above his left eye, in addition to the nosebleed and the abrasion under his left eye.
Perez trying to bounce back with combinations. Looked very tired as he went to his corner and sat down in his stool, sort of a heavy thud as he hit the round part. He's been hit a lot.
Taylor picking with the jab, landing it right on the nose of Perez.
Let me have it.
You see the blood is coming out again. Those 2 jabs open up the blood. Referee Teddy Pick, as we pointed out before the fight, wearing the gloves. According to the regulations of the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board, the referee and the cornermen are required to wear gloves.
Break, step back,
In order to prevent the spread of the disease AIDS. And Chris, on ABC's Monday Sports Night, this Monday night, they're going to cover this story, how the world of sports is reacting to the problem presented by AIDS. 12 midnight this Monday night.
Just notice Meldric Taylor took his right glove and rubbed the right side outside of his right eye. Maybe a little debris or something got in it. Thus far, it hasn't bothered him. Look how he beautifully picked off the punches. And, of course, that's part of the fighter's defense. And defense is part of a judge's scorecard. 3 judges here scoring a 10-point must. We're in Atlantic City.
This has been one of the easier fights they'll ever have to score. I just can't imagine Cubanito has, on the left of your screen, the red trunks has won a round. And actually in Jersey, Chris, where they encourage the use of the 10-point must system for using 10-8 rounds if a fighter's clearly dominant, it's entirely possible that Meldric Taylor has won some 10-8 rounds as well.
I have him on 1-10-8. It was in the 3rd round where I thought he was just absolutely overwhelming. A rest coming up for both at about 5 seconds. 3 rounds remaining in this junior welterweight bout. No knockdowns. Heavily marked because of the great number of punches thrown by talented Meldric Taylor. Perez on the right. Alex, we started with 5 of the Olympians. Madison Square Garden, November 15th in '84, the Olympic year. And they're moving right along. And in 2 weeks, we get an opportunity to watch another.
That's right, Chris. Meldric's very talented lightweight teammate, Pernell Whitaker, will be in action against Miguel Santana. And then on August 22nd, Mark Breland, who returned to action after having his left hand operated on, returned to action with a 10-round decision, non-title last night, will defend his World Boxing Association welterweight title against Marlon Starling. So the next 2 fights on Wide World of Sports, 2 of Meldric Taylor's teammates.
All right, come on out of there.
What a workout this has been for Meldric Taylor. He has an opponent that has a strong chin, a lot of willpower. A slightly lesser opponent, I think, would have been on the deck at least once or twice in this bout as we're in the 8th round, but not Perez. Tough as they come.
Work out of there. Work out of there.
You're the voice of Teddy Pick, the referee, from time to time.
Watch your heads. Watch your heads in there. Get off the neck. Get off the neck, Kobe.
That's what George Benton told Taylor, use the left hooks. He's doing it.
And Meldric is dominating Cubanito on the inside. Tough to watch here, but tough to score when you watch, but he beat him with a punch inside with a body punch, and he came upstairs more effectively.
And they're solider punches, too.
And that's what Meldric was really looking for in this fight. He wanted to find his power.
I'm impressed with Taylor's defense. It's slipping, and he is still snapping away from punches effectively today.
Just then, he covered very well, Chris.
Yes.
Just as you were saying, it had the hands up and then slip. Block 2 and then slip 1.
Well, we got to keep him up now. Keep him up.
Well, that time he pulled away like he'd been thumbed or something, Chris. He pulled away in a funny, strange manner, did Meldric. Now he's on the inside.
Let me have you. Got to keep them punches up now. I'm not going to tell you again. You hear me?
Oh, Teddy Pick, the referee, getting very strong with his warning. Taylor, keep his punches up.
Something's happened to Meldric. In that exchange before, he comes back and fights back with the heart that he's shown in his brief professional career when he is in trouble.
And Alex, in the previous round, indicated he rubbed his right eye with his glove. He turned away in the same direction in this round. We'll see if we can find out if something did happen. All right, we're looking at the 9th round now. Nothing apparent happening to Taylor in the previous 2 rounds. Obviously, in the corner, he complained of nothing, Alex.
He looked tired to me, Chris. He flopped down for the first time and really looked like he needed air.
And for the first time, I don't think I heard George Benton, his trainer, say that he could take him out.
I think George would be very happy to see Meldric just pick with that jab and win a comfortable decision. But Meldric in the past, when he's been in with tough opponents, has come on in the late rounds and tried for knockouts even when he didn't need one. Against Robin Blake, the first time he stepped up in class, he did that.
And Taylor told us yesterday he knew that Perez could take a punch. And Perez has proven that. he's not been discouraged by the fact that he hasn't put him down. He's a workmanlike 139.5-pounder.
Those punches right there are arm punches. When Meldric gets a little bit tired, he tends to arm punch a little bit more and not get as much leverage. He's trying to bend. You can see that. He's not really straight up. He is trying to bend. But he's really only getting his arm involved in the punch, not his legs and the rest of his body.
Now a smile and a walk away by Perez, beckoning the 20-year-old to come to him, and he obliges. Ninth round. This should be probably the 6th time that young Taylor has gone 10. 9 times for Perez. Oh, look.
The thing that amazes me here, Chris, is Perez has an excellent stiff right hand. And there, Meldric was able to shoot 3 left jabs, and Perez just did not respond with the obvious counter, which was the right hand over the jab. He's just totally flustered by this kid.
Let his head go.
And what menacing jabs by Taylor. Keeps the opponent off balance, blocks his vision momentarily. And there's a left hook that would put a lot of fighters down. Buckled the knees of Perez.
Cubanito back all the way across the ring. Came back with a desperation right hand and took a left hook in response from Meldric. That's the sign of a good fighter. He made Perez miss, and then he made him pay.
Hitting low.
Digging to the body.
Come here. You're both hitting low. I'm going to take a
Now they're both told that they are heading low. Keep those punches up. They can think about it in 2 seconds.
Right there.
Alex, was Taylor. He ripped right up to the face, which is battered now. Perez to see his condition before the final round. Look at it.
All the way.
Speed up. All the way, Irleis. You're going to give me 3 minutes? You might knock this bum out if you give me 3 minutes. Give me 3 minutes. Respira, la boca. La boca.
That's Angelo Dundee.
Okay.
Guided the careers of 11 world champions.
Vamos como tu quieres, okay? Don't worry about it.
Next round. Give me a clean round.
Look, have your hands up good. Have your hands up good, because this guy may try to pull this fight out with something. You understand?
And Ben was thinking right, too.
Have your hands up real good, because this guy might try to pull it out with a big shot.
You're going to be throwing a big shot, understand? What you do is drop down. Drop down, baby. Use that jab. Come on.
Have your hands good now, because he may try to come out big.
Right here.
So Taylor's corner thinks this could be a very dangerous round and cautioned Taylor to watch this guy's right hand, of course referring to Perez.
Angelo Dundee referred to Meldric Taylor as a bum in the corner. That was clearly not Angelo's real opinion. That was inspirational talk.
That's boxing lingo.
Exactly.
Oh, every opponent is a bum. Stiffest jab to date by Taylor. Practically tore the head off of Perez.
Meldric is 139.5 pounds here in this fight, Chris. He originally thought he was going to be a lightweight fighter. He's moved up here. I think it's shown that he's got a little bit better power and a little bit better stamina, and that's really all he needed. The WBC super lightweight champion is Tsuyoshi Hamada at 140 pounds. The WBA and the IBF call the 140-pound division the junior welterweights. Juan Koji of Argentina is the champion there, and Terry Marsh of England is the IBF champion. If I were those 3 gentlemen, I would really not be, I would look for another opponent than Meldric Taylor as a challenger for Mike Brown at 140 pounds.
And now you can see Taylor confidently moving away, knowing that he has the fight won. But he's against the ropes, dangerous territory. Should get away from there because, look out, he's bombing away Perez. The only way he can win is knock Taylor out.
I don't think he can do that at this stage, Chris.
I don't either.
We should give credit to Irleis Perez because he just got a good left hook there, and he's still dead game and still trying with everything he has. It's just not enough. And that's a terrifying thing, I I think, for a fight. Begin being there, giving everything you have, and realizing, I think Cubanito realized as early as the first or second round that his best was just not enough against Meldric Taylor.
Let me have it.
8-year age difference, 20 and 28. We will not be going to a commercial at the end of the 10th and final round. Instead, Al Troutwig and Becky Dixon. First, we'll be around for what may be a baseball pitcher shutout by Taylor. It's just really a tattoo job here in the 10th round by Taylor. And Perez, too much courage. All right, there it is. 10. Action-packed 3-minute rounds, and Lou Duva hoists the Olympic gold medal weight in the featherweight division. We're going to come back, of course, for the decision and an interview. But here in Atlantic City, we're going to take this luxury of going back to New York. Al Troutwig and Becky Dixon.
Taylor's Olympic teammates. The first one I want to tell you about is WBA welterweight champion Mark Breland. He fought last night in Sardinia, an island off the coast of Italy. A crowd of about 1,000 gathered at a small recreation center known as Fort Village and watched him defeat Juan Rondon in a 10-round decision. We look forward to seeing him, and we'll tell you when in just a moment. Also, we wanted to tell you about Pernell Whitaker, who fought 2 weeks ago. He took on Jimmy Flores in Houston, Texas. It was a first-round victory for Pernell Whitaker, who recovers twice from injuries in his boxing career. First, a hand injury that he suffered in boxing, and then a foot and ankle injury that he suffered in basketball. First-round knockout. Whitaker returns to Wide World of Sports against Miguel Santana, and also Mark Breland versus Marlon Starling for the WBA World Welterweight Championship. That's on August 22nd. We will return on Wide World of Sports in a moment. We'll take you to Atlantic City.
And now, after all the action, we find out how the 3 judges scored that bout, Taylor versus Perez. We had it a shutout for that young man, 20 years old, from Philadelphia, in his 4th start here in Atlantic City. He was extremely impressive, and in the courage department, well, this 28-year-old, born in Cuba, came to the States as an 11-year-old. His parents living a coffee farm to come here, and he's had 37 bouts. All right, here, now the decision.
Harris Marina Hotel and Casino in the other Atlantic City, New Jersey. The scoring by points as follows. Judges Frank Cairo and Tommy Kazmarek each score 99-90. And Judge Phil Newman, he observed it at 190. For the winner by unanimous decision, and for his 16th win in his 17th professional bout, including 1 draw, Meldric TNT Taylor.
All right, Phil Newman scored it as I did, a shutout, 100-90. The other 2 judges, 99-90, as we go to Alex Walu in the ring. Alex?
Meldric, you got a lot to smile about. Where's that smile?
I'm smiling inside.
In your wildest dreams, Meldric, did you think you could dominate him that way?
Yeah, I thought I did. We had a great game plan. I worked hard on my game plan with him. I knew that I could do that. They was telling me all the I could knock this kid out. I had chances in the fight where I could have knocked him out, but I'm glad I went 10 hard rounds, and he's a good fighter.
Congratulations to you, Meldric. Lou, is he ready to fight for a title?
Anybody at all.
Next
ABC,
fight.
get us a title match.
The next fight is the title fight.
We're ready. Thanks so much for putting us on.
I just want to let the whole world know my brother Myron Teller is back. He just beat Richard Savage, and he's looking great. He's back in the boxing game again.
Thank you, Meldric. Meldric is there. Thank you, Meldric. Congratulations. Back to Chris.
Okay, thank you, Alex. And that boy with the charisma, the youngest on the Olympic team, where they won 9 gold medals, Meldric Taylor of Philadelphia. His 17th bout was really impressive. He won it over the veteran Cubanito Perez. We enjoyed it. We hope you did. So that's it from...
Just that. Former WBC World Lightweight Champion Jose Luis Ramirez will be looking to reclaim that crown, but Terrence Ali has his eyes set on a world title. We'll have that action for you live. First defense of his WBC Super Welterweight Championship takes on Lupe Aquino. Gil Clancy and I will join you at ringside with that action when we continue live from fans after the... We're back live in Bordeaux, France, awaiting this 12-round WBC Super Welterweight Championship bout. Dwayne Thomas making his first defense against the challenge of Lupe Aquino. I've been joined at ringside by Gil Clancy, and Gil, we should have an exciting battle here tonight. Lupe Aquino is a guy who was ready to fight for this title, a vacant title opportunity, rather against the then champion Dwayne Thomas back in April, but Thomas was hurt and had to pull out of that. On the other hand, he fought Davey Moore that night, and Aquino looked very impressive.
Tim, I think that's going to make him a lot better fighter. Knocking out a former world